Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes.
Hello YouTube, it's your girl Kimberly. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. The title of this video is, yes, Frontier Airlines is that bad. And I know you're probably thinking, ooh, but the deal, should I take it? Should I get it? It's the cheapest flight. I want to save money. What should I do? Listen, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Although, yes, Frontier Airlines is that bad, there are specific types of travelers and a certain mindset that I think will be able to successfully travel on Frontier and won't have any issues. So if you want to know more, keep watching. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. It's an easy and free way to support the channel. I do a lot of travel videos here, travel tips and tricks. I'll leave some links below in the description box, but you want to make sure you don't miss out on any of my travel expertise. So hit the subscribe button, please. I appreciate it. Also, if you like this video, like the video. That way I know to make more like it. And hit the notification bell. That way you'll be first to know when I go live or when I post a new video. Okay, so a little background about my travel experience. I have a lot of experience flying. Not only do I travel personally, I used to travel a lot more for work. A little less now, but all the time I've been in the airport life, understand what you need to do to get it quick, done, try all the different things. But surprisingly, I never flew Frontier. So traditionally, I have a family point pool of JetBlue, and then also a lot of points and stuff with like Delta. So I usually try to skew to one of these brands that I already have like established points with, some with United also and American Airlines. So I usually try to play in the pond of when I could either use points to help me when I'm purchasing flights or gain points to help with other flights in the future. So because of that ecosystem I have of trying to get deals with these points, I have not flown Frontier until last week, and then I never flew Spirit still, and I haven't flown Southwest. So and also some international brands, so KLM, Avantia, TAP Portugal, and there's some more that are escaping me, but other international brands. So flying Frontier, had a last minute trip, needed a deal, went Frontier. Frontier had the lowest cost ticket, had to pay for a check bag either way, check bag or carry on, so I figured might as well check it since I have to pay for it regardless. I would come to regret that decision. But anyway, like I said Frontier is bad. This is why it's bad in my opinion. One, the app and the machines don't work. So a part of Frontier's allure is that they cut out extra employees, extra staff, extra ancillary services, so that way you could get the cheapest possible flight to where you're going. And the reason why I personally think it would be okay is because if I can automate the way I check in and do all the things with the app and the machines, then I don't need all the extra people. But that is solely dependent on the app and the machines working. And when they don't, now you're stranded trying to figure it out. So with that being said, got to the airport, app is not being functional, but we have ticket information, took a screenshot, whatever, trying to get tags for the bags. The machine won't print. Then we go to another machine, but the last machine is saying that it did print, even though only one of the 3 tickets that we needed came out. The whole pay to speak to an agent thing. So now you're confused because you're like, well, the ticket machine did wrong because it's not working right. But I want to speak to somebody, but I don't want to pay the $25. So if you're not familiar with Frontier's breakdown, $25 to speak to a person at the counter. $11 to print your ticket. So now we're just like, what are we gonna do, because we need these luggage tags. So we were able to go to the baggage drop line, and the people did print the other 2 tags that we needed, and the 4th tag that we didn't need yet because the person wasn't there to check in, but they gave it to us anyway, so we just held on to it and waited for the last person to come and give it to them. So that, I thought, was like going to be the extent of the issues. I'm like, we're going to be good from then, no problems, whatever. They had sent an email overnight that the plane was being changed. So because of this cost to print the tickets, I'm assuming everybody's using the app because, you know, you want to save that money. And then when we get there, the app has readjusted and changed. I changed my seat, so I'm figuring, okay, so everybody's seats have been updated and changed through the app when we get on the plane. Of course, that's not the case. Some people have paid to print out their tickets, so now the app plus these people's printed tickets are saying the same seat number. This is a mix-up that potentially might happen at other airlines. When I flew a JetBlue flight where they had to change planes, at the gate they reprinted everyone's ticket because they were like, if you're using the app, then you see the update, but if your team printed tickets, come on up here based on last name, and we're going to redistribute out all these new tickets for the new seats for the new plane. It went very quickly. I think they did the whole thing within like 15 to 20 minutes. Everybody had their new seats. When we got on the plane, seamless, no fights over seats, no discussions, everything was fine. I thought Frontier would do the same thing, but because they charge for the cost of printing the tickets, no new tickets. So then as we're boarding the plane, the boarding's taking even longer because now you have someone with a printed ticket for the seat. Now you have someone whose app says they have the seat, and then the flight attendant has to come with the little tablet with like the real life manifest, and then they're telling the people with the printed seat, like, actually your seat's over here now because everything changed, blah 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 blah. So now it's all these little discussions. Thankfully, nobody fought. Nobody got crazy or belligerent. But it was also a 6 a.m. flight, though. So now it's like everybody's already tired. People just want to get on the flight and go to sleep. But now it's all these little discussions. Another thing that wasn't an issue for me personally, but I really felt bad for some of the other customers, was that they paid extra money for these seats that have more leg room, and that in the switching of the plane they end up getting put in some other rando seat even though they already paid for the extra space kind of seat, which was basically an emergency row. It wasn't even like designated extra space, but they're just like, this is a bigger one, so more money. So now they're going back and forth with the flight attendants, who now can't help other people who are having the same seat issue. So now it's getting backed up of people waiting to speak with the flight attendant because they have the tablet and trying to go through all these things. So instead of just a normal get on the plane, go to your seat, now all this is happening multiple times with all the different flight attendants. And this what brings me to my second problem with Frontier Airlines. Employees either omit information or they lie. So when the people came to them and said, I paid for the extra seat, it's saying that I don't have the extra seat. This was the seat that I had before. Why don't I have one of the extra money seats? Oh, just sit down, and then once the plane takes off, we'll figure it out. No, people are not trying to hear that when they paid $50 for these special seats. So now the people are going back and forth with them because it's like, you playing in my face now because you were just trying to tell me sit down and shut up. But now we're going to get to the bottom of why I'm not getting my seat. So now they're trying to reallocate and figure out which seats are the expensive seats. Did the people who are sitting in the seats currently pay for those seats? And if not, how to get them out without them being upset, you know? So now it's like this whole situation. And it's just like, why are you just tell the people the truth that like everything's screwed up because we switched planes, and I'm sorry that you don't have the seat that you actually paid extra for, but let me try to help you to get you to the right seat. Like, why was that not the go-to? So another situation where the people quote unquote lie or omit details that are the workers there. They get when they lost my bag, which is why I said I regretted checking my bag. They basically were saying, oh, we don't have, at at the carousels, there are no Frontier employees because they only hire a small group of people and they rotate throughout the airport. So if a flight's taking off, the people leave the ticket gate and then they go work the gate for the flight. They leave the ticket counter and they work the gate for the flight. And then once the flight takes off, then they come back to the ticket counter and help the people for the next flight. And then if there's a flight being received, they then go down and help with the bags. So it's like a trifecta of any point where the little group of Frontier employees could be. And if it's not where you need help at, then no one's there. So thankfully New York is a big airport, so other employees from American and United started coming over to help the Frontier customers. But I'm like, first of all, that's not their job. Second of all, where are the bags? Third of all, where is the person? If y'all knew the bags were going to be delayed, if there was going to be some issue getting them on the belt, you knew that everybody's going to stand here waiting for their bags. So why didn't somebody come down from the ticker counter to here to tell us that? So of course, nobody comes down. So then the other airline employees are like, well, since they do this thing, you know, go up to the ticket counter and see if they're there, because they don't have people down here. So of course now all 30 of us, because it was a whole group of people who didn't have their bags, we all go up to the ticket counter. We get to the ticket counter, the girl is rude, she has an attitude, she's mad, and I'm like, it's literally a little small gang of people who are all upset that our bags are going. Like, do something about it. Like, now you actually have to work. So then she eventually is like, oh, well, go downstairs. Why did y'all come up here? It's like, because y'all didn't have nobody down there. So of course now they're like, well, now that you've all walked and went all the way up the escalators and came here, now someone's down there and they're gonna help. So then of course I was thankful that I was there with a group. I wasn't alone. So I was able to call the other half of the group and be like, are bags and stuff actually coming, or are they just lying to us up here before we walk back down there? And some other people in the group, of course, are doing the same. So now it's like, because we're not doing this twice. And thankfully the carousel has started back and more bags were starting to come. They also, I mean, I know with this particular airport, they said that Frontier doesn't pay for a dedicated luggage gate, like where all the baggage claim. So whatever one is free is where their bags go. So with other airlines, it's like, oh, baggage claim 8 is always Air Canada. Baggage claim 9 is always Delta. Frontier just gets a random spot, whatever's free. So then there's like a lot of these situations with the bags, and it was just so irritating. Not only did they misplace my bag and have this whole rigmarole that I had to do, they also broke my suitcase. And that's a whole nother thing, because guess what? They're not even the first airline to break my suitcase. And that's not even specifically what I'm mad about. Because JetBlue broke my suitcase. Within hours after my flight, they paid me a credit. They apologized and tried to help me, because I was at my location I was traveling to. I was in the Dominican Republic for my birthday. And then they basically were trying to like help me. Everything worked out. It was fine. I'm expecting the same thing from Frontier. First of all, I get upstairs. I get to the airport. My luggage is broken. Trying to go to the room for the luggage. Frontier doesn't have a room. You have to go to the ticket counter. So I go back up to the ticket counter with my broken suitcase. Show them that it's broken. I fill out a paper form, which is already red flag, red flag. I fill out a paper form for the damage to my bag. I give it to that. First of all, they told me to take a picture of it. I was already like, oh, this is a bad sign. But let me do it. Take a picture of it so that way I can have it. My trip, that happened on Wednesday when I was going to the location, broke the bag. I get back home Saturday, looking at, they're saying you're gonna get an email, nothing. Sunday, nothing. Monday, I get on chat with an employee. Can't find no record of it, can't find the information, can't find anything. Send me a link saying about, oh, fill this out for your claim. The link says, oh, your flight was too long ago, so now this link won't work. Go talk directly with an agent. First time I'm on chat with the agents, I spoke to 2 different agents. I was on chat for an hour. They kicked me off the chat. There was no resolution to my issue. Second time I was on the chat for another hour. I spoke with one person who was already a bag damage like kind of specialist, and then they started a whole new claim for me. So now of course I'm thinking, is there a random paper with all of my like life information that's just floating around the airport about my damaged bag because y'all never filed it. Guess I'll make sure I'll check these emails and credit and things, because like, where's the paper? What happened to it? Nobody who worked for Frontier could find this paper. And I'm just like, but that was the whole thing for the bag. So then they're like, of course, 24 or 48 hours, you're going to hear back. And I'm like, well, okay, so now that I have to do everything over, is it going to be 24 to 48 hours? Are y'all doing it quickly because I put this paperwork in from Wednesday and it's now Monday of the next week? Or are you going to basically tell me that I'm starting a new waiting period from this day? Which I already assumed it was, but I just wanted to confirm. So of course, yes, I'm currently in the waiting period to hear back about this broken bag. Which is very annoying, because if they would have just lost it, if they would have just broke it, but the fact that it's both, and then the employees were kind of rude and playing that game, it just was all disappointing. So paperwork, hot mess. No clear systems to get these things done. I'm looking down. I wrote notes so that I can make sure I include all the things. They don't have enough staff. I already told you about the rotating people thing. So that's annoying. Also, all airlines, the gate agents don't come until a few, like usually they come 30 minutes before the plane is boarding, and then they do like standby and people who have unassigned seats and all that stuff. That they came a second before boarding was supposed to start. Like, they were running from the ticket gate trying to make it in time to be there for our flight to load. And I'm like, wow, this is a lot. But next thing is you have different experiences even though it's the same flight. So I have experiences with some other airlines, but it's very rare, few in between. On the flight, when I was coming back, the people were a little nicer, gave a little more service. They gave out water to anyone who asked. They were kind of trying to sell the snacks, but they weren't really pushy. But if you had questions about it, they were willing to talk with you and field your questions. On my first flight going, where they broke my bag, nobody said nothing. They didn't give any water. They didn't sell no snacks. The flight attendant sat down when we sat down, and they flew like we flew. Like, it was a mess. So what I feel like is that if you're gonna, I understand that the snacks are the upsell because that's like an extra cost that you only pay for it if you want it, and that's a way to save money. But also, if you're gonna give out water, you need to at least give out water bottles. I mean, if you're gonna do the cups with the real drink cart, first of all, they had this wobbly drink cart. It could not go straight. It was like hitting people's seats as they were trying to go through, like, because it was going side to side, which was weird. Then they're passing water, like one cup of water, if somebody wants it, oh, you don't want it no more, I take it back from you, give it to somebody else. I'm just like, is this sanitary? Like, what is going on here? Like, it was too much. So I say all that to say, yes, Frontier Airlines is that bad, but I think that if you're going on a trip that is very short, where all of your clothes can fit into a personal item, where you won't need a carry-on, or to check a bag, that is going to be the sweet spot for Frontier Airlines. Like, so let's say if it's like a bachelorette weekend, you're missing the full trip, like you're only flying down for Friday after work, Saturday, and then you're coming back Sunday with the rest of the group, but you missed the first half of the trip, get you a Frontier ticket. That's the situation where it makes sense, because you can put 2 dresses in your tote bag, a bra, some toiletry kit, a little bit of makeup, use other people's lotion and suntan lotion when you get down there, maybe pack one bathing suit. That is who Frontier is for, because with the carry-on bags, people paid for the carry-on bags. They were looking in the app extra hard, like, to double check if they paid, and I'm like, it either says they paid or they didn't pay. Like, this line should be moving next to us. For the people who don't pay for carry-on, but you have a personal item, now they're trying to make sure they check every personal item to make sure it's not carry-on item size, because then they make you go to the side and you have to pay $100 to take it with you. Allegedly, there's like a kickback for employees if they do that to people, but then you're already, and the plane was delayed, which delays happen, but my thing is the plane was already 2.5 hours delayed, and now you're playing this game with personal item versus carry-on. Like, we need to go. We are already late. Like, people have connecting flights, and they're just playing this game with all the bags, and it's just like, come on, Frontier. If you would have had it together and had other systems in place, then you could have played this let's check all the bags game. But they're definitely just like, and one girl was like, if your Frontier flight leaves 40 minutes late, then you're on time. I was like, is that a real rule or that's just your experience? She's like, oh, that's just my experience. But I was like, I cannot be 45 minutes late off of the 2 hour and 30-minute late that we already late. That's late. We need to go. So, like I said, if you have fit all your clothes in a personal item or a backpack, you're going to wear the shoes that you're wearing for the whole trip on your feet, then Frontier can be a deal for you. If you have a check bag, if you have a carry-on bag, you're automatically down. Maybe for the carry-on bag it might be a little problematic, but the check bag, that was a disaster. So I know there's some people who are Frontier people and they're just like, I fly Frontier all the time, it's great for me. But it's not. If you fly the other airlines and then you're going to Frontier, it is definitely a huge jump leap and so disappointing in terms of the lack of service. Like the things, like you could still lie, you could tell the truth and not charge. It don't cost no money to tell the truth. Like, just say all the tickets are jacked up because we switched planes and we trying to figure it out. We flying by the seat of our pants. Like, just say that instead of just being like, oh, you could just take that seat even though you paid for a more expensive seat. Now everybody's upset and it's like, grrr, and it was too much. So very disappointed in Frontier Airlines. I mean, would I give them a second chance? In life in general, I try to give second chances, but I don't know about this. I might try Spirit to see if maybe it's different. But very, very disappointed, and I hope that they do right by the fact that they broke my bag. Okay, so if you have any like expert tips of what you did that made flying with Frontier less problematic, please let me know in the comment section below, so that way I could try those. And if the tip is like don't bring no clothes with you or FedEx your stuff, then that's not it, because FedEx don't even be bringing stuff on time, so how am I gonna do that? But thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Just like the street lights lit